Hi YouTubers, it's Willow here, and I just did a garden update about 5 days ago, and I said that this was going to be a week when things exploded into garden goodness. So I thought I would just do a quick little update just to show how much these gardens grow in a short period of time. And in Canada it's usually the month of July where things explode into greenness. So I will prove to you that I am telling the truth. Oops. Again, gotta get this focusing down. I have bok choy in the front, two rows of Swiss chard in the middle, and then some carrots along the edge. And this is all grown fairly substantially in 5 days. In a few days I'll be able to do another blanching and freezing session. But here is where the real crazy growth starts. The zucchinis, and these are the cucumbers. There are four cucumber plants right here. And they're spreading out really nicely. Zucchinis, I've already harvested my first zucchini of the year. And as you see, I got another bad boy here to take. And actually some more that have been pollinated as well, so that's great. These two little guys were just, pretty little in the last, covering the microphone again. These little guys were pretty little in the last video, and they're exploding into growth as well. They're of course flowering nicely, and I've been hand pollinating those bad boys. Now here's my lettuce. I've actually cut some lettuce, so it's maybe not looking super impressive at the moment, but it's getting nice and lush and full. And luckily, so far it has survived the terribly hot weather we've had, but we have 10 days of very hot weather coming up, so I don't know. I don't know how it's going to do. My guess would be that the romaine might survive because it's a bit hardier, but the loose leaf, I'm going to actually just harvest as much as I can, just in case. And then beside these guys we have kale and chard. And the kale and chard is also exploding into growth. I'll have a blanching and freezing session right away, probably in the next couple of days. I water every other day, so probably in 2 days I'll have that. The kale's the dark green row back there, and then chard all along here. But it's growing really well. And then I also have a few beets as well. These guys right here are beets, and there are beets growing in that back little section there as well. So that's exciting. And then I have a little bit more lettuce. Again, I've been harvesting this, so it's a little short, but and yeah, my lettuce has not grown as well as last year at all, because last year I had big, huge, bushy, loose leaf lettuce, and not so much this year, but I've been getting enough, so that's good. And then there are my little basil plants, and these guys are doing quite well. Again, they're a little behind where I would expect, but they're doing all right. And my onions look fantastic. They actually look a lot better than they did last year. So I've been enjoying those all year long so far. So there you have it, 5 days of growth, and yeah, we're pretty much exploding into garden goodness here. And now I am back at the community beds that I have, and they're not looking maybe quite as explosive, but still quite a lot of growth going on here in 5 days time. So I've harvested a little bit of chard out of these guys already, the bigger ones, but again, another few days and I should have plenty of greenery. Get down on the lower level. So, you know, again, in comparison to like real farmers, this is maybe a little bit of a paltry scenario, but I'm honestly just happy with anything that I can grow. And this is going to provide me greens for the winter. So I am extremely happy with how things have grown in this bed. This is my potato, beets, and arugula bed. And the potatoes, as I said in the last video, the plants are starting to die off, which is normal, but normally I think they die off a little bit later than this. So I will be interested to see how these potatoes are under here. I've seen lots of potatoes under here, so I know I'm going to get some. But we'll see what happens. Then this row right here is the second plant of arugula, and I just harvested it as well, so it was looking big and green and lush. But and then these are the little beets that I was kind of worried about all season. But as you can see, they're starting to perk along here. If I've got this focused, they're starting to come. So just gonna let those guys go. And then we have a few carrots in the front here. And then I had to actually pull my arugula, my first plant of arugula, because it had gone bitter in the heat. So once these plants go bitter, you know, I mean, if you're really a glutton for punishment, you can you can still eat them, but it's very, very bitter. So unfortunately, I had to yank those guys. But then I have a third planting of arugula. If I can hone in on these. Coming, and I don't know, we're again, like I said, we're heading into some really hot weather, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But overall, things are looking really nice. The kale and the chard will do fine in the hot weather. It won't turn bitter. And I would say, you know, this is probably the best my gardens are gonna look, because the point of a garden obviously is to harvest, right? Is to get food out of it. So it's, you know, once you start cutting stuff and removing stuff and you know, hacking away at it, it starts looking a little bit rougher. And then the other thing that happens, of course, is as things go bitter, you have to yank them out. So then you have bare spots in your garden, and it's just not as full and beautiful. So this is a little bit of trick of photography, right? To show my garden kind of at its height of beautifulness. This bed with the chard and kale will get a bit bigger than this, but overall, this is kind of when things are going to be looking as full as possible. Anyway, that is my update for July 23rd, 2018. Again, things are looking good.